Surf Cup.
I had Mike Davis and Seattle U watch me, and let me see. I think my mom said it. And then like UCSB were watching me too. For D1s, I want to say that's kind of it though.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a lot of D2s and D3s that like reached out to me after.
Okay, good.
A few, yeah. But Drake was out there watching me.
Mm-hmm.
And GCU.
And VCU was there, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's funny. I just that's good to know because I am living in Virginia right now, and I'm on VCU's campus right now.
No, GCU.
Oh, GCU. Thank you. That makes sense. Okay, cool. Good. And with that in mind, that Surf Cup, is there? I have a couple of questions to ask you guys, but any other updates that are kind of new?
Well, we went to Seattle. We went to the UW camp.
Yeah.
We went to right after Surf Cup.
Yeah, let's talk about those real quick. So, how were they?
Oh no, I'm sorry. That was before.
Yeah, and then we went to Seattle, and I met with the assistant coach, and he walked me around and stuff. And then he was also at the UW camp for both days. And so yeah.
And tell me,
Played well.
played well. All right, that's great to hear. And how the hip flexor was good, James?
It was kind of bugging me a lot it got through Surf Cup, but then at the UW camp it was kind of bugging
Okay.
me back.
But it was good. I think both days you made like the select team or whatever, right?
Yeah, but I was still not really 100% now.
Okay, that's all right. So what with Seattle, obviously, look, talking with the coach, meeting with them, being walked around, that's good. We like that. So how did that go exactly? How did that end?
Well, I talked to him like at the end of the camp, and he had to like go, so he had like a wedding or something he had to get to.
Mm-hmm.
But I basically said like, what's the next steps? And he was, no, we don't really have like a clear lineup like thing right now because he's not sure if they're gonna be able to have a camp in the winter or like another camp until next summer. And just because it's like they don't have indoor facilities in Seattle U,
Mm-hmm.
and it rains a lot in Seattle. But he said to like definitely stay in contact and keep him updated with like video and stuff.
So basically, just to translate that from a coach perspective, they need to see how the fall season is going to go. So they want to see how that goes. After that will be time for offers and everything else. So, at that point too, you can say like, here's some more. Look, the video we've sent them between the USL video, your regular highlight video, they've seen you in person. Now we're at the stage where we get to ask for an offer. If they really want to see you one more time, we might entertain it because we do like this school, but at that point, they've seen what they were going to see, and if they like you, then they like you. If they don't, then they don't. Then the other aspect, of course, is financially, the academics, which also, from their perspective, they need to know how the fall season goes, which is why most people don't get offers until, like, the very end of the fall season.
Like November.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I would say, like, Halloween, Christmas, that's when it all wraps up. So that's good. So I know some of your teammates will be getting offers around you, and you're like, how come it's not coming my way? And it's a subjective sport, and as we talked about, I think you should be, but this is how it goes, and our job is to continue getting you noticed as we have been. So with that in mind, okay, keep going. So anything else? UW, how did it end at UW?
Like with UW?
Yeah.
Well, they're done with their 23, so I was mostly just focused on Seattle U the whole time.
Good. That's the attitude I like. Now, we talked about this a little bit. Did you have a talk with the Wofford coach?
what's it called? I was gonna have a call with him like the night before I left for cert. And then like something popped up and we had to, me and my mom had to do something before we left and I couldn't. And then I like texted him and then he like never responded and then I was like, we can try to figure out a time and then I texted him like 2 more times and he hasn't responded.
Okay. Let's follow up another time. Let's just call him. And that's also, we'll write one more email and we'll mention my name for that one as well. I don't want to
He
lose
seems
that
like
one.
really interested, but I think he just hasn't seen it.
Yeah, I think he's just busy. I know the guy. Really nice guy. Good coach. Just give him a second. And we'll follow up, and I can send him an email too. Okay, so that's Wofford. Then we talked about Evansville. They asked for some game footage. We sent them all of our stuff.
The full game one?
Yes.
No, I had trouble. Like I couldn't get into my my high school trace thing.
Well, I want you to send the USL stuff.
Oh, okay. I can do that then.
Yeah. Send the one we edited, and then also send the same game unedited.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, so follow up with Evansville. That is important. Follow up with Evansville with USL footage. The high school footage, doesn't mean a lot to them. Okay, and then right now you're obviously back in Hawaii. What are you planning playing wise?
Well, we don't have much. I want to see if I can if I could get on this other team's roster for Surf College Cup, which is I think in like October.
Yep.
So my team's not going, but I want to see if I could try guest play with this other team.
Which other team?
Okay.
Okay. That would be good.
Kind of, we don't have much club stuff going on here, so it's kind of just waiting until high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. So the thing is, normally with students who are like close to schools, this is when we would write some emails saying like, "Hey, I'm willing to come to a game in the fall. I'd love to say hello to you." That type of thing. Obviously, in your case, it's a long way to go for a game. However, there will be a couple schools I would want to entertain that concept with. So this is what I'd like to do is James, and we can maybe potentially start another document, is I'm just going to double check a couple things. Air Force, did we respond to Air Force?
Yeah, I don't think we got a response back.
Okay. St. Mary's.
St. Mary's, yeah, they said they were going to watch me at Surf, but I don't think my mom ever saw them.
That's okay. Also, the other thing we're going to do is it doesn't really matter. Our major list of D1s, like pretty much almost all of them, we're going to follow up basically saying, I'm not sure if you had the chance to see me at Surf Cup, but, I really appreciate it. And then I'm going to rephrase one of the words that we have. Let me see one thing. So SDSU called you? Is that true? Oh, no, I told you to call them.
Yeah, I called the coach, never responded. Sent a text, never responded.
Okay.
I don't think they're too interested, to be honest.
Okay, that's good. That's okay. And then Georgetown, we left it with, we couldn't go to the winter camp, or you might be able to go to the winter camp. Did we finish that conversation?
Yeah, he responded back.
Just okay.
I'm just like, yeah, let me know.
Okay, good. And then American, vibe it out based on your conversation. How did that go?
I sent him that same message I sent the Georgetown coach, and he just said like, and I also because he responded to the email before I did the USL thing, so I sent him the video too, and I said like, sorry, I'm not gonna be there.
Good.
And he's, thanks, James. Video looks good. Sorry about the hit.
He said, American said that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so here's what we need to do now, which is good problems. Do you have any questions, like any concerns, Mr. Kimo, about anything right now?
What's that? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, you're good. I was saying, do you have any, like, well, I'm going to jump into a couple things that I want us to do do now, but is there anything else you wanted to bring up?
So James and I had some time to talk over when we were up in Seattle, and talking about what he really wants, and based on where we're at today. And I think his preference would be West Coast. I know we're still looking at some other schools, so you're still open to other schools, right? Just want to make sure. And I'm curious to hear just kind of what our plan, what we should be doing for the next.
Good question. Good question. So we're going to talk about kind of the next mass email we're going to send out, which we'll do today, as well as the schools we're going to prioritize. We can entertain. Here's like an option. You go, okay, I really want to live on the West Coast. Well, do you want to play at a lower level and play on the West Coast because now you get the West Coast? Or you're like, no, I just want to play Division I at a good school. Therefore, I'm open-minded to go to like a Wofford or a different school that you wouldn't otherwise go to.
I think if I don't get any offers from the West Coast on D1, then I could go to the East Coast or something.
Okay.
So D1's still the priority.
Yeah.
Okay, so D1 West Coast is the priority. So here's
but D1 big picture.
Got it.
If he does have a choice.
Good to know, which is good. I want us to have a choice, and we deserve a choice. Is right now, in terms of the West Coast, our most interest is from UC Davis still, would you say?
Yeah, I would say Davis, and then, I feel like Seattle U.
Yeah, good point. I agree. And I think Seattle U would probably be our number one right now. Yeah.
Those two are.
Those two. Okay. So with that in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to keep in touch. It's going to be in a really exciting time. Like in the next 3 months, like we'll pretty much be able to come to a conclusion is my hope, which is soon, or at least, we'll be really close to a conclusion. So here's what I think we should do is today, either we'll do it on another document or in the one we have, is we're going to lay out in front of us so we can see all the schools that we like and have shown genuine interest in us on both sides of the spectrum, Division I, East Coast and West Coast. Then we're going to write an email to all of them, which I know we did before, and I know I said you may not have to do it again, but we're going to email almost all of those schools and say a version of this. I had Surf Cup. I thought I did pretty well. Do we have any footage from Surf Cup?
It's gonna come in. I think it takes a few weeks.
Okay.
So after that's done, I wanted to make an updated pilot
For sure.
video.
For sure. I'm totally for that. Plus, I think your updated video should include the USL stuff, but I'm not so concerned about that because your video it does the job. It gets us to the open trial or the open combine. So the college ID camp. But the other next piece of it is we're going to say to these schools, hey, I'm considering coming to a game in the fall. Now, here's the reality. We're going to say that, and there's truth to that, but we're not going to just book a call. We're going to say, if you would like us to come to a game, we would make, UC Davis is a good example. UC Davis, we may email them and go, look, we're willing to come to a game in the fall. If we were to do so, which game would you recommend we come to? And then that kind of turns into a visit and a relatively official one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And now we may... Oh, go ahead, sorry. What's that?
You're laying it out for them to come back to you.
Exactly. Exactly. You get it. So that's kind of the next step we're going to do with just the schools that have kind of shown a lot of interest in us. Like Evansville would be on that list. Even if they haven't responded, even Georgetown, even American, we need to show them hey, we're very serious about your school. And then we'll see, what the vibe is basically from there.
You get the official visit offer, it's why not, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, and we're kind of saying, look, we're even willing, it's not going to come down to money for those schools, but you're saying whether or not you pay, I'm going to come, then they may be more likely to go, oh, you really care, why don't we make it a visit out of it? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you think it'll be different with schools that already did an unofficial visit?
It is different, yeah. So with Seattle, for example, official means you'd sleep with the guys, you'd spend time with them. It's a different situation. Now, you don't need an official visit to get an offer. That's not, you don't have to have that. It's just a piece that is, good for you to see so you can decide if you want to go to the school.
How often do you get official visit? How often is an official visit not paired with an offer, though?
But I would say the majority of the time.
They're not.
They're not. No, most because they're not. Look how many kids they commit every year. Not 10 kids are going on an official visit,
Yeah.
or 6 kids. But an official visit or a visit of some kind that's official/unofficial definitely happens before. And you already had basically. Look, the fact that the coach walked you around campus. You know how busy he is. He doesn't do that for fun.
Yeah.
So and yes, does that make sense? Okay, so that's a good, that we like that. That's a good sign. Like I said, a lot of it's gonna be kind of telling on how the season unfolds for
Yeah.
these teams. They got to see how their
That's-
incoming kids did.
Yeah. What Davis said too.
Yeah, that's what they've said, which is typical. So we're okay. So also breath wise, just like how we've been emailing like crazy, and we got to go to all these camps. We're gonna take a breath here, and we're gonna really get to organize our document and our emails and go, okay, who do we need to follow up with twice, and who did we miss? Before we've just been, it's been crazy because we've had so many sessions. Okay, all right. So with that in mind, I'm gonna have us look at our document really quickly. And we're gonna go to the drive. I just wanna look up right now the documents we have for you. And I want to basically show you the template we're gonna use to email the teams, as well as show you, decide which teams we're gonna email. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I also met with the UC Irvine coach while you're in.
Oh, good. Which coach did you meet?
The head coach.
Yossi.
Yes.
And how did that go?
It was good. Like, he didn't really know too much who I was because I wasn't talking to him. I was talking to the assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the assistant responded to my email back when, and then I like texted him that we were gonna go. This like D2 offered me a visit in Irvine, like Concordia.
Concordia's of the D2s. Like, that's a really cool school. But keep going.
Yeah. They watched me play and they wanted me up after Surf Cup, so I went up to Irvine from San Diego, and then I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna text the Irvine coach, and then he responded, and I thought I was gonna meet with the assistant coach, but he's like, why don't you just meet with the head coach?
Good. Okay, great. And how did that convo go?
Good. They didn't walk me around, mostly because there was like the Rams were training
Mm-hmm.
on their soccer fields that day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
Football team?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it was like a season ticket open training type thing. So there's a ton of Rams fans there. So it's kind of busy outside. So
Totally. And remember how at the beginning of the summer we were talking about UNLV, but obviously, there was a lot of soccer in between. And
They
it got.
canceled the camp.
Oh, got it. Okay.
They said it was the lack of turnout.
Interesting. Huh. Okay. Bummer for them is what probably they're thinking. Okay, good to
It
know.
was it would have been like 105, 110.
Oh boy, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, maybe that's why it got canceled. Maybe a lot of
yeah.
people didn't show up.
Also, if it's UNLV or nothing, I'll go to UNLV. But I don't think I want to live in Vegas too much.
Good. We like that. No, that's helpful. That's very helpful. Very, very helpful. And I that's kind of what we're narrowing. That's the whole point of all this. That's what we're narrowing down. Exactly that thing. And look, like, yeah, you get it. So this is exactly why UNLV, they need to know that you really want to go to the school, which is like for Seattle, U, and Davis, we can even say to them, like, look, I'm deciding between, at this point, we're in a discussion with Seattle and UC Davis and go, look, both of you have shown significant interest. I'm going to choose between the two of you. Like, if that opportunity, like, we can write that now in an email, because that is how we feel. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, let me share my screen just so that way you can see what this looks like. So here is all the list of schools that you did a good job, like you kind of like all the schools interested in you, and then of those schools, which ones you were mostly interested in, right? So here are all the schools we're going to email with the following message, and I'm going to put it in the main document just so we have it. Now what I'd like you to do is, well, let's do this. This will be fun, actually. In this new document that of the schools interested in you, like James, schools of interest, what we'll do is from now on, like, I just want you to copy. You don't even have to copy and paste, actually. We'll just make it easier. Watch this. Go ahead. Yeah.
That that D3 Willamette.
Mm-hmm.
They watched me. The same guy watched me a lot at surf and talked to me a lot like after my games and stuff. And he gave me like dates for an official visit and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I was kind of. I was more real with him this time. I was like, I want to play D1, and he was like, I get that.
Yeah. Good.
Like, you're a D1 player, but he basically said that I'm their number one recruit, and like if I want to go there, like I have a spot.
Good. Look, you don't know what can happen in life, so it's a good thing. The other thing is we can even mention to that coach, like, I understand I'm your number one recruit. I really want to play D1. Is there a school you recommend in the D1 world that you recommend I reach out to? And coaches are quite nice about that stuff. So that's good to know. And I know Hilo and Whitworth, these are not top choices. So, but here's the email that we're going to write now. So we're going to call this document now. We're going to call this document the Masters 2.0 document. So from now on, we'll pretty much be working off of this document.
Okay.
Um,
Just on this last conversation we've been talking about,
Yeah.
I've got a list of 7 schools.
Okay.
Seattle, Davis. Is St. Mary's still on the list? Because they're talking to you, right?
Yeah, they just didn't see me surf, but yeah.
Okay. Irvine,
Yeah.
Wilford, Evansville, and American. Is there anything else?
I mean,
Walford?
yeah.
What is it?
Wilford. Evansville. What about Georgetown?
Yeah, Georgetown. In terms of schools that have like actually like watched me play and stuff and are still interested.
We're just talking to you and communicating with you. Are those all?
There's more than that.
D1?
Yeah.
So who else is on that list?
And I have this, I think we kind of, UW, take that off the list. American, Drexel, Drake, you said?
Yeah.
Like, Drake is not a place you'd probably like to go, to be honest. But,
I mean, there's a lot of schools that have responded to me and showed interest, but I feel like at this point, like if they haven't seen me play, right, like they're not gonna.
well, there's still an opportunity for like 1 or 2 more camps, and they will make offers right after those camps, so I don't want to write them off yet.
Yeah.
So if they've shown any interest in their Division I school, I'd like to know who they are.
Okay, can I do that later? I'll go through
Absolutely,
them
yes. And put it on this document.
all. Yeah.
And there's a couple schools here already. Some of them are not. So actually, even a couple of these are not Division I. So organize this between the divisions.
Okay.
That makes sense. Those are worth. I think that would be an important thing to do. The other schools that I kind of want to add to your list that are just schools that have come to my attention in the last couple days is Robert Morris.
I know everything goes to that school.
Was that?
One of my teammates, he was, so basically this kid from Hawaii is playing on there that I know.
Okay, perfect.
And he was in Colorado. He was on my team for a little bit and then went up to the USL team. So.
Okay, good. I know we want West Coast, but these are some schools I want to flirt with. But the answer is yes, please organize that. And this is the email that you're going to send. So this is the template for fall 2022. And it's going to look like this. Look like this. Dear Coach, so it's basically a follow-up from Surf Cup. Dear Coach, I hope this finds you well. I have read. No, sorry. Hope this finds you well. Dear Coach, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to Surf Cup. Surf Cup. I'm not sure if you had the chance to see me. How did the tournament go exactly?
Well, my team lost. My team is very.
Yeah, that I know.
Not good. I played all right.
Okay.
I played pretty good. I played like good in one of the games. Let's see how you was watching.
Who did you play against? Who did you play against?
I played against this team called like Cardiff Soccers.
Soccers?
Yeah.
Soccer Chicago. Okay. So for now, we'll just go. Thank you for coming. I'm not sure if you had the chance to see me. I am working. I have been playing with USL Flat Irons Rush, based out of Colorado. I have gone back home to Hawaii. I'm working on my schedule to attend one of your games in the fall. Is there a game you might recommend I attend? And that's gonna be the generic one. And then you can also say like, I will have updated Surf Cup footage shortly. Which that's fine. We may or may not choose to send it depending on if it's good. This is true for the generic one. So like if you haven't heard from Evansville, from Drake, but for the custom one, so let's just go through those. Like for Davis, actually that's like a pretty good model, you know. I would even text the coach that like, hey, I'm interested in coming a game in the fall. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can use the same model. With St. Mary's, I would do the same thing. Okay. Irvine, same thing. Wofford is a different one. I want you to write the coach this email. Dear coach, Zeb asked me to copy and paste this note. Hi coach. Hi coach. Forget how to spell his last name. You'll fix it for me. I'll do it afterwards. Let me see here. Masters 2.0. Okay, yeah. Dear coach, Zev asked me to copy this. Hi, coach. I hope you are well. I just returned to the Kickers after a 2-year knee injury. James is considering UC Davis and Seattle but I have told him how great a coach you are and want him to come to one of your games in the fall. They live in Hawaii, so they have to arrange some accommodations ahead of time. Happy to speak to you about him further if you would like. Hi coach, hope you're well. I just returned to the Kickers and James is considering UC Davis and Seattle U. Both have walked him around campus. Both have walked him around their campuses. But I've told him how great a coach you are and want him to come to one of the games this fall. They live in Hawaii, so they have to arrange some accommodations. How to speak to you. And then you would just say the part, you would just say this other part that we modeled, this part here.
There you go.
Except he didn't come to Surf Cup, so you would just skip that part and you would just mention like, I've been playing Flatiron Rush, I have to go back to Hawaii, but I'd like to come to one of your games in the fall. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The template. Evansville, just do the template. Just Seattle U is just like the template's pretty much spot on, except I would mention something like dear coach, I really enjoyed meeting you and learning from you at the camp. I love the campus. I Seattle U. This is where we can be mindful of this, but we can go Seattle U and UC Davis are my top choices, and I would prefer. This is actually, we're gonna wait on this. That is gonna come, but not yet. I love the campus. Seattle U is my one choice. I'm talking to a few other West Coast D1 teams. What division is? What's it called? The conference there.
Huh?
What's the conference that Seattle U are in? What's it called?
Whack.
The WAC. And UC Davis is in the Big West, I think.
Yeah.
So I just want to say the WAC. So, are there any other schools in the WAC that we're talking to? No.
Not on a UC Davis level.
No, that's okay. But what schools in the WAC?
I think GCU.
Okay, that's enough. I'm talking to a few other schools.
Seattle, GCU, and then not all of those are two top teams, right?
I want to.
Seattle or GCU normally wins the WAC.
Okay. I want to be on the West Coast and after visiting your school, Seattle is my personal top choice. So here what you're saying is I'm ready. If Seattle came with an offer tomorrow, would you say yes? Oh, you paused. I didn't expect that.
No, I think I would. I mean, if it was between Davis or Seattle U, I don't really know.
Wow. Okay, that's fair to
Here's
say.
the question.
Well,
If
I
Seattle
guess.
came to you first, and you didn't know what David was going to do, your choice is you have something guaranteed,
Well,
or
I
you
would.
just say no and you risk both.
Well, I definitely wouldn't say no.
That means you're saying yes.
I guess.
I mean, you
Like,
could say
hey, Coach, Seattle, you just gave me an offer. I'm thinking about committing. Like, can you do anything for me?
you would say that to Davis.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just look, we're not there yet, but good to know. Because what we're basically saying in this sentence is, because one thing, like, you weren't ready before to go, Seattle U's the school I want to go to, done. Now you're pretty much like, of the schools we've spoken to, UC Davis and Seattle U are the schools I want to go to. So that means it's time now to say in an email, because it's true.
I think it would be Seattle U.
Okay. So, and look, you don't have to know right now, but I love the campus. Seattle U is
They
my
have lights.
is
Either
my
one
choice.
of them said something that you just be
in
like,
terms of the
yeah,
WAC Big
that's
West.
awesome. You get to play D1 in the West Coast. They both meet
I want to go to the West Coast, and after
Yeah,
visiting
I
school,
know.
after visiting school, Seattle's my personal top choice.
I mean, yeah, I'd be very happy to go to either one.
Okay, so then at the end, we'd want to say here, I'm working on my schedule, attend one of the games in the fall.
It'd be a dream to go to either one.
Yeah, so then you would say, here we would just say, I would like to come to a game in the fall. I would like to come to a game in the fall.
Another field of play. All their games are at year one.
Is
Yeah,
there a
Yeah.
game?
Oh, let's see how these field corner too. It's like cooler. I think it's a nicer field. A little bit. It's a little bit smaller. Davis is really big.
I really enjoyed meeting you and learning from you at the camp. I love the campus. Seattle U is my choice. I love the campus. I'm talking to a few other schools in the WAC and Big West. I want to be on the West Coast, and after visiting school, Seattle is my personal top choice. I would like to fly from Hawaii, so this shows your seriousness, Hawaii, to come to a game in the fall. Is there a game you'd recommend I come to? So I think it's time for this. This is a very fair email. The one thing we could debate is whether or not we mention this. We could debate and say we're not going to talk about it, but it's true, first of all. I guess it's a question like, from the vibe you received, and I have my own opinion, but from the vibe you received, do you think they'd be look? They know that you're talking to other schools. They're not silly, so I don't think it's out of the question. On the flip side, if you're like, look, I don't want to ruffle any feathers whatsoever, we could just say, I love the campus. I'm talking. We don't even have to mention I'm talking to another schools. We're gonna use that at some point if they don't give us an answer.
I don't think you can do anything wrong.
Okay.
Should I? Because the coach, so there was the assistant coach who I first got in contact with, and he was like, "Yeah, we know about you," like blah blah blah. And then he watched me. He was the one at Surf Cup. He watched me a bit at Surf Cup, and then, but he wasn't at the Davis camp or at the UW camp.
Right.
So put me in contact with the coach that was going to be there, and he's like the goalkeeper coach / assistant coach type thing / like recruiting coordinator, I think. And then that's the guy that I talked to the most and walked us around, and
Let me just look them up really
I have both their numbers. I'm actually, they made like a group chat with me, and it's like me and 2 of the coaches.
Okay, well that says a lot. So you were with Coach Vince? No.
I was with Nate.
Nate. Okay, he's the associate head coach. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
and then
good.
Brooks Hop was the one that walked me around. I never met Coach Pete, but Coach Brooks was like, I'm sure you guys will definitely meet in the future.
Okay, what he's saying is come to a game in the fall. That's what he means by the future. So this is good. Let me see something real quick.
Yeah. They also said, I was like, I'm pretty sure Jamie Clark talked to them about me.
Good.
Because they asked me, they were like, so you know that you've been talking to UW, like that you were talking to UW a lot and stuff.
They have a couple players, Seattle U, that are on the Richmond Kickers right now, which is where I'm at.
On the what?
On the pro team that I play for right now, there's a couple players here that were on the Kickers. That were on Seattle, and now they play for the Kickers here. I'm talking to field schools. I want to be on the West Coast. I've all seen. So I'd like to. And then I think, let me say this. Zev, my mentor.
But one thing, they said, like, I was like, yeah, it was cool. I like UW a lot. And that's where the coach I was talking to went. He played for UW. He was the goalkeeper there. So it wasn't weird or anything, but I was like, yeah, I really like UW and stuff, but kind of seems like they're done with their 2023s, so it's like.
Yeah,
whatever.
they know. Look, Seattle U and UW are on different pedestals in the college world. They know that, and it doesn't mean they won't win a game. They probably will beat them at times, but
I know like their coaches, like Jamie Clark and Seattle U coaches are really
close. They're smart.
Like they're friends and stuff. Yeah.
Everybody's friends. Like that's why the world is so small. So that's great that they asked about.
They basically said they're like, well, we're definitely not done with our 2023, so.
Right. Okay. So I think this is a good sentence, and maybe it's even worth mentioning. I really enjoyed meeting you, learning from the camp. I love the campus. I really enjoyed our conversation. I really enjoyed our conversation. How about this? Actually, I would love to meet head coach. I forget how to spell his name. And then I think it would be this. I want to be on the West Coast, and after visiting school, Seattle is my personal top choice. I'd like to fly from Hawaii to come to a game in the fall. Is there a game you recommend I come to? And that right there, just so you know, if after you go to the game in the fall, they don't basically make an offer or say something serious, then we would move on.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. When do you think that first game is? Like.
We can look it up right now.
November?
Let's look it up. Schedule. Okay, Gonzaga, Oregon State. Their first game is August 14th, so in a couple weeks. And then they've got games all throughout the year. They even play UW. September. San Francisco's it'd be better if you went to a home game just because you could then visit the campus and stuff, but they gonna be at San Francisco. Well, I guess it's the same distance really, so that's silly. UNLV, they're going to play UNLV, so we could send a message to the coach. It's at UNLV, though, so no, never mind.
Pretty sure UNLV are pretty, I think last in the WAC.
Yeah.
Teams.
You don't want to live there, so that kind of sorts that out for us. So look, I think that's the email. I do think it's worth messaging these other schools. UC Davis, you would say like the same thing. Say same thing as you did to Seattle. Cool.
Yeah. But should I also mention like that Davis is my number one choice?
Yeah, I would say for now I would say
Correct.
because they're both your number one. I know it seems silly to say, but that's the truth.
Yeah, okay, that's actually true. Though.
They're both your number one, and like even if Wofford came, like if Wofford, Seattle, and Davis, you would take away Wofford unless you love the coach. But
Yeah, it's right there.
yeah, the one other thing I would like is there's that list of schools. This is extra credit. What? What's that?
We're just debating Davis and Seattle. Yeah.
He's
Okay.
having a problem choosing.
That's good. That's a good problem to have. We like that problem. The one thing is I would just say, there's extra credit, you don't have to, but there was a list of schools that came to the Surf Cup that were Division I schools. I'd like us to email all of them this message, even though I know you don't want to go to this. I still like the momentum because like UW knows Seattle, they all know each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in this document, I'm going to keep this one as the new master's document now for you, which is exciting, is here. We're going to go like this. Today is July, or August, sorry. August 3rd, 2022. And we're just going to go like this. And the college soccer dream work is going to be, so email all the schools below with the template we did. Number 2 is all teams that came to Surf Cup that are D1. All the teams that came to Surf Cup that are D1. Email those, please. That's extra credit. And then finally, number 3, send off the Wofford emails we discussed. And then the last thing I want you to do, James, is please go through our old document and double check what schools we should move. I know you already did it once, but I just want to do it one more time into this document. Okay? All right. Very good. We're looking, guys, just so you know, like I know your father's asking next steps. We're looking at like, one more ID camp. Unlikely 2, but maybe 2, and then we'll have a place where we will be picking a school. And
So we gotta.
yeah.
So that's a good point you brought up. So ID camps, during the season they don't do anything.
They do often have, and like most D1 schools will have one camp during the fall season surrounded by a home game. And they kind of turn that into like a visit / experience. So there will probably be one more in the fall and there'll be 1 or 2 in the winter. And we will flirt with those and then, that'll be it.
The thing is about Seattle U, I don't think they're having either of those.
Right, exactly. Most schools don't. So this is why we're going to go to a game in the fall. Look, they don't know what you're thinking. I mean, yes, of course you're interested, but you have not at any point yet told them, if you make me an offer, I'm going to say yes. It's like a relationship. Nobody wants to propose unless they know the person's going to say yes. That makes sense. So we're going to tell them now, basically.
Should I text that to the coach that I was
I know.
talking to?
I was thinking about
Or-
that. I think you
Or
should.
I email it to the coach and then should I CC the other coaches? Or
I know. That's a good question. Right now, who's your closest relationship with?
The Brooks Hobb guy.
The
goalkeeper.
associate. No, the.
Yeah.
Um,
Doesn't have a photo.
He's a brand new coach.
got it. Got it.
Started like a month ago.
Yeah.
And you've been talking to him via
That's-
text.
That's gonna be text on here.
And you've been talking to him via text.
Yeah, but also in person and touring and whatnot.
I kind of want everybody in the loop, so I'm tempted to.
I almost feel like it's weird that I haven't really talked to the assistant or the head coach at all.
Yeah.
Also, one thing that the associate head coach at Davis. I was at Surf Cup, and he recognized me and said like, "Hey James," and I like barely talked to him. So
Well, they talk about you. You know, that's how it works. So they know you more than you'd think. Just like Seattle, you knows you. They mentioned you. You know, they're not. They want to know who you're. You know, he went. You don't think that the goalkeeper coach said, "Hey, coach, I just went to work, and I went on a visit." You know, then tell me about the guy. You know, they talk about everything. So, I say text. You know, let's do this. Text the guy we're close with. Text him. If we don't hear, we'll send an email to everybody.
Okay, he told me to follow up with him and stuff.
Perfect. Text the guy. So let's just do the communication through him, since then if he doesn't respond, we can deal with it. But if we send an email to everybody and they don't respond and then text him, it will be annoying. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can do the same thing. Yes, you should do that today. And you can do the same thing with Alec Sunley as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely close with him.
Yeah, and I would just say, look, you're looking to come to a game out in the fall. You know, same thing as we did there.
Because he followed up with me before I could send him a text, and he was like,
Cool. That's good.
Please stay in touch. Like,
okay. Look, what they're trying to figure out is, do you want to go to their school? You know, you haven't told them that yet, that you want to marry them. So this is that. I'm willing to come for a game in the fall. I want to marry you. If you propose to me, I will say yes.
okay.
Okay. A good. I think it may even be worth. Okay, let's debate this for just a second here. I think it's worth. I need to know the vibe well. Hold on one second.